La consulta del doctor Escarabajo, dígame.
La consulta del doctor Escarabajo.
La consulta del doctor Escarabajo.
La consulta del doctor Escarabajo.
La consulta
La
del doctor
consulta del doctor Escarabajo.
La consulta del doctor Escarabajo.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It's actually been over 10 years since I've started playing as the Reverend Shawn Amos. It's been closer to 12 years now. And yeah, in many ways I'm very satisfied. In other ways I wish well, I guess it's silly to wish for anything that isn't happening. You should really just deal with what is happening. So yeah, I'm grateful I'm still able to do it. I'm grateful I still have an audience that's growing and interested in what I want to do. You know, this music is not, it's not popular music. It just isn't these days. Blues is a niche music, and I'm grateful that for someone who plays a niche music, that I'm able to make a living and find an audience and get satisfaction. And most importantly, the music itself just gives me such joy still. It just is really the most efficient way for me to connect to my heart and connect to my spirit, and for me to understand myself and understand the world around me.
To the beginning, so I can see myself, I can meet myself. I'm going back to the beginning, so I can see myself.
The pandemic has just changed everything. I mean, there's a world before the pandemic and a world after the pandemic, and it has made my music deeper, for sure, and it has reaffirmed my belief in how important it is for me to create music and perform music and have music in my life as a means of understanding. At the same time, it's made it a lot harder to play music for people. It's much more competitive. There are fewer clubs and places to play, and the ones that are still available are much more careful about who they book. It's more expensive to do this, to take a show on the road. So it's more challenging, but it means more than ever after the pandemic, for sure.
So I can see myself, I can meet myself. I'm going back to the beginning, so I can see myself.
Yes, we are definitely living in musically eclectic times, but I think we always have. I mean, if you look at the 60s, oh my gosh, the festivals were amazing. You look at some of the concert posters for the Fillmore in San Francisco, and it was Miles Davis playing with Canned Heat, alongside Sonny Terry, alongside Grateful Dead. I mean, there's a beautiful mix of genres in music, and people didn't think twice about it. So I'm very happy about that now. I think that people are getting less obsessed with genres and putting things in boxes and just wanting to hear music that moves them. And if it is a bunch of Bavarian throat singers next to a EDM band, next to a electronic funk outfit, who cares? It's great. I just think the more the merrier. Brother Number One comes out on May 3rd. There will be a second single coming out on March 29th. We've had 2 singles come out so far. Revelation came out in October. I put out a second single on February 23rd called Back to the Beginning, where the McCrary singers are with me, a beautiful family of singers from Nashville, Tennessee. And the album comes out May 3rd. And if you listen to all 3 of those singles, you'll get a sense of the album. It's eclectic. I'd say it's very funk-leaning. It's very soul-leaning. It is lyrically very direct. It's the most direct set of lyrics I've ever written. And it's really an offering for all my brothers and sisters. You know, I say that it's 10 funk-filled blues songs filled with love and hope and concern for all brothers and sisters, because I am concerned about us, and I love us, and I have great hopes for us. But I think we are in a precarious state at the moment, and so. In some sense, all of my albums are a bit about, I guess they're a bit of prayers for humanity and prayers for myself, and that we reach our better angels. So this, in some sense, is no different, but it's very direct, and it grooves. The grooves are deeper than ever before, and it's a lot more. It owes a lot to 70s soul and funk music, which I became enamored with, interestingly, writing my book. I mean, I've always loved it, obviously, but I wrote a couple books that were semi-autobiographical books that took place in the 70s during my childhood, and it just sort of reconnected me with that music in the books, and so I wanted to stay in that space a little bit more outside of the books, and so here we have Soul Brother Number One. My expectations with Soul Brother Number One. Well, many of them have been met already just by making the album. It was a real push for me. I pushed myself vocally. I played with some amazing players who challenged me. Steve Ferroni plays on drums, who played with Tom Petty for many years and the Heartbreakers and was an Average White Band. Jerry Say, Wizard from the great American band Mother's Finest. So I wrote songs with new co-writers who I'd not written with before. So just to push myself into this new creative territory was a great challenge and a great joy. I think in terms of what I expect from the album once it's released, I hope it's, that my wish is the same for every album, that it's met with open hearts and ears and people embrace it. It's a bit of a challenging album. I think my audience has come to expect that I will deliver something that is probably a little bit different than the previous thing I've released, that I'm curious, musically curious and socially curious. And so I follow that curiosity to places that may be new. And I hope that's what people are part of what people enjoy about my music. And this is no different. So I hope that it finds as wide of an audience as it can, and as big of an audience as it can. I hope it brings me to new places. I hope it brings me to new stages. I hope it brings me new fans. I hope it helps. I hope it helps. I hope it helps people. I hope it brings people joy, which is what I want for all my music to do.
I predict we all gonna stay here together.
Well, I'm just starting to play these songs in concert, and I'm not playing all of them yet. Here in Spain, we have been playing 3 songs from the new album: Revelation, a second song called Stone Cold Love, and a third song called Hammer. and I'm really loving them. Particularly playing Stone Cold Love has been really enlightening. You know, sometimes you don't understand what a song's about, or you don't fully understand how to get inside of a song until you play it live. And there's oftentimes when you wish you could go back in the studio and re-record the album after you've played the song live for a while. So when I get back to the States, we'll start working on integrating more songs into the show. But they are, like I said, like the album, it's raw, you know, and I'm putting more of myself out there. I mean, quite literally in the way I'm dressing these days, but also, metaphorically. These songs can only, I think, be sold or gotten across if I'm just 110%, inside of them and committed to them. So I think the shows are and the songs are probably a bit more emotionally forceful and a bit more, heartfelt, I guess. I mean, I hate saying that because I feel like all my material is that way, but they're in your face a bit more.
Seven-headed beast inside. Now I have my revelation.
It's going to be a busy year for me. The album comes out May 3rd, so lots to get ready for in preparation for the release. We'll have a couple of wonderful music videos that will accompany some of the songs. I'm playing the Netherlands next week. I'm wrapping up the Spain tour and then taking a couple of days off in New York City and then coming back to Europe to play the Netherlands for a couple of weeks. And then I'll be playing some dates in the US and some dates in Canada this summer. I'll be in the UK. So a lot of travel, a lot of plans. I'm going to go back in the studio in Nashville, Tennessee in the spring and record some other material. And we'll see what comes out of that. I've been playing with some great new musicians, a few of whom I brought with me here in Spain. And I've been really inspired just having new musical camaraderie. And so going to go in the studio and see what comes out of there. So yeah, a big year of new music, playing this current music, of just taking the songs as far and wide as I can go. I'm so concerned for the world. That's why I made the album. I'm so concerned. There's so many crises right now. I mean, in our country, this election and these doubts we suddenly have about democracy, which is just, who would have ever thought? And the war on this continent that you're experiencing, and the war in Israel and Gaza, and just such profound disrespect for people's humanity and rights to live freely, and then the environmental crises. I mean, you could go on and on and on, and the greed and the lack of humility and just the cruelty that people seem to revel in right now. It's just horrible. So I'm very concerned, and I so believe in individual people. One of the things I love about coming to Europe and traveling so much is it makes me realize so much how we all are the same and we all need each other so much. And it's so obvious on an individual level, but once large groups of people get together, we seem to forget that. And I hope that individual people who have the power to change all this will remember that, because sometimes it feels like the oligarchs and the billionaires and the politicians and the power-hungry motherfuckers are winning out, and it seems like individual ordinary people might give up the fight, and gosh, we have to keep the fight up. So, yeah, I believe in us, and you have to. I mean, that's my gosh, it's the glue that keeps us together. It's what gets us up in the morning, is the hope that, and the belief that it could always be better. Each day we have a chance to begin again. So I hope we choose to begin again in a better way, and we choose light, and we choose love. Hola, my name is the Reverend Shawn Amos, and I want to wish you all peace and love and blues to all the good people of Escarabajo. And please listen to my music on Spotify. You can follow me on Instagram at the Rev Amos, and you can see what I'm doing at my own website, ShawnAmos.com, ShawnAmos.com. Gracias.
Another moment. It was in the moment, but it was actually like another moment.